like to do this afternoon is I'd like to tell you a little bit about the backstory of Women's Business Club, because what I often do is run these events and people leave and they say, I don't know anything about Women's Business Club, but they don't even know the name of the company that's hosted the conference or the awards. And so I thought, I really need to take some time to explain our journey, because it's an incredible journey, and let you know who we are and why we're doing this. And I'd very much like to continue with the theme from what I started this morning, is the importance of what happens when women come together and the incredible things that we can do when we come together as like-minded women with the right mindset, not to compete, but to complement each other, to lead the ladder down, to support each other. So I'm hoping that will come through in our little story. So we started way back in 2013. By accident. I had no intention of setting up another business at all. But I believe that if there's something inside of you that you're meant to do, it's going to keep coming up. Even if you try to suppress it, it's going to keep coming up. And one of the things I love to do is connect people, in case you hadn't noticed. Feed people, I'm a feeder. And make sure that women, or people, I'll say people in general, I love seeing people discover what's inside of them and unleash it. And those are the things that are key to me. I can't escape them. I'll do them in any context. And in this case, it came out in the form of Women's Business Club. And so we met in January of 2013. We had our very first business lunch. I won't go into the details of that, but basically, looking back, we built it on 7 key pillars. At the time, I wasn't that clever. It just happened. But now looking back, there are 7 key pillars to our business lunches and everything we do at Women's Business Club that really does, it hasn't changed. It really is an important part of how we do things. And so some of those things include a really good food, not junk food or, food that's going to make you sleepy when the speaker comes up. Quality speakers, looking at speakers who are really there to impart and educate, not just speakers who are there to pitch their businesses and sell to the audience. A friendly welcome and a friendly goodbye, so important. Because a lot of people come to networking, maybe it's their first time or maybe they're an introvert and they feel intimidated. And so we really want to make it easy for people to come together and network with other women. Anyway, there's 7 and I won't go into them all, but the way I set it up in 2013, fantastically, is the way it's still running today. And so I'm so pleased that we managed to keep that going. At the end of our first year, 2013, we had to have a celebration, as you do, January to December. And so I set up our very first Women's Business Awards, which was very tongue-in-cheek. It was just a case of having a few awards. They were funny. They were like the Loch Ness Award for the member who paid her fees and we never saw her again, or the Compulsive Blogger Award, because everything we did, she blogged about. And they were very tongue-in-cheek. But what I learned as a result was that these awards are so important, because in the weeks that followed, I saw the Businesswoman of the Year, because we did have more serious awards. We had Businesswoman of the Year, Business Mum of the Year. And these award winners, even the blogger and the Loch Ness Award winner and the Mother Hubbard Award winner, they were popping up in the newspaper and they were popping up on local blogs and they were getting interviewed on the radio. And this one lady who won the Businesswoman of the Year award, she said, winning that award has given me the confidence to keep going in her business. And I was like, wow, awards are important. And so I stopped doing the joke awards and started taking this very seriously, because we need to be celebrating each other. We need to be shouting out about each other and supporting each other. And we need to be nominating each other. It's absolutely nothing wrong with entering yourself into an award. That's absolutely fine. But we also need to be thinking about those around us, who could do with a bit of a boost, or who has really shone and they're doing a great job, or who has gone through a struggle. And we really want to acknowledge that they're an overcomer. And there's all these things that we can notice in other people. And what a boost. How lovely is it when you get that email that says you've been nominated. And please, don't do it anonymously. There is the option to do it anonymously, but it really validates it when it says by the name of the person who nominated you. So anyway, that's our first year. We grew from a business lunch to multiple business lunches. When I realized I'd already reached capacity, I couldn't do any more on my own. We franchised, so I started working with franchise leaders, and then we ended our first year with what I call our first conference and awards, and it really was just a few clubs coming together. But really, that was the start of this, and look what it's grown into. Jumping ahead, Obviously, we were growing, moving quite strong in the Southwest. And then in 2017, I had the opportunity to acquire a competitor who was very strong in the north of the UK, Girl Tribe Gang. And so we acquired them. And so we became fully national, which was fantastic. 2020 came. You all know what happened around that time. The words that we don't, the big C. And up until that point, I didn't want to branch outside of the UK. My first business imploded because I grew too quickly. I went international too quickly, and I became very careful. Just keep it in the UK, keep it contained, make sure that it doesn't grow too big too quickly. But then everybody was online. The whole world was online. And so we had to go online, you had to go online, we all had to go online. And so it made perfect sense to just open up what we were doing to other countries, and we did. We gave it a shot. We did a global, a virtual awards. Absolutely fantastic. I couldn't believe how positive the virtual awards were. In a time of such uncertainty and such negativity, we were able to do something so positive. And so we've kept that awards as well. So now we run both. We run the in-person at our conferences and the virtual awards globally. So it's for any country. I think we've got about 92 countries entered this year. And so we run a fantastic virtual awards celebration. That's 2020. 2023, we acquired another networking company called Netwalking. So we introduced another event type, networking. I personally love it. That's my favorite. It's fantastic. You meet up, you go for a walk together, talk business, talk whatever you want to talk about, come back, have a coffee. It's a fantastic way to do business. Get the blood flowing, get out of the office. And so that's a new event we introduced in 23. Somewhere in between all of this, we also launched our magazine. So you've all got one in your goodie bag. We're looking to find stories, your story. We don't want the magazine to be like most magazines. It's advert, 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 and there's something to read, advert, advert, advert. We need advertisers, of course. We've got to, fund it, but we want to capture your story. We want to know the struggles you've faced or the successes you've had, and we want to feature you in our magazine. And then also we launched our podcast as well this year. Again, it's about featuring your story. And then 2024, Women's Business Voice, that's our podcast. And my favorite, this is my weakness now, I've overinvested in this for us, but it's our Clubhouse. Now, you would have all used the Clubhouse because you wouldn't be here if you couldn't have booked in. And yes, it's glitchy because it's new and it's new tech, and tech always lets you down when you need it the most. But what I have planned for us is incredible. What we're going to achieve with this Clubhouse for you, for your business, for your visibility, for your networking, for your funding. We're building in peer-to-peer funding, helping women get more funds into their business, for mentoring. I mean, the list just goes on, where this is going to be the place to be if you are wanting to build a business or a career, or you want to offer support to other women. It's just going to be the place to be. So bear with us as we iron out the glitches, but keep coming, checking back, and using the Clubhouse, because every time you log in, you're going to see more and more features that are going to be useful to you in building your community, your business, etc., etc. So that's what 25 Plus is. We're looking at what barriers do business women face? What are you struggling with to succeed in your business or your career in your country? So obviously I'm speaking to Scotland now, but we have businesses in all countries, different languages and different struggles and different challenges. And we're hoping to address these in each country in a way that's relevant, in local language and in local currency. And so that's the big global dream. So that's the backstory. So now you know who's hosting the conference and where we've come from and where we're going. So I hope that helps. A little bit about our team. We have team all over the world again. I'm not going to put everyone on here, but these are the team that you would have encountered today. So we have lovely Tamsin over there. Say hi, Tamsin. We have Eric over there. Izzy, where are you, Izzy? And then Alekia, our magazine editor over there. This is just some of our team that work with me at Women's Business Club. And our values. Now, this is important. This isn't just about me telling you about us. This is about why what we do is relevant and important to you. So we have, first of all, courageous leadership. We're very passionate about raising up leaders. It's important that we lead in our sphere of influence. as if that's just a mum and our family and our kids, mums, if it's you're, global hotshot, a high-flying businesswoman and you can reach the world, whatever your sphere of influence is, we want women to rise up and confidently lead in whatever your expertise is or whatever your passion is. I don't want to see us shying away and not doing the things that we're called to do. Everyone can be a leader. You don't need a title. But everyone can have influence. And so courageous leadership is what we're looking for. Women who are going to have courage and get out there and make a difference in their sphere of influence. Then disruptive generosity. It's not just about giving money. It's not just about giving time. It's about giving in a way that you're really making a difference. And we want to be a generous community. We want to be a community that will support our charities. So we have several charities here today. And we've got the raffle. And we've got these little ribbons, and we've got all sorts because we want to be generous to charity. But it's not only about that, it's about being generous with each other. I'm not talking about giving away your services or your products for free. I'm talking about there's a time and a place where you can be generous, where you can really be making a difference in another businesswoman, another career woman in their journey or in their life. Intentional kindness. I don't know about you, but there are times when I don't want to be kind, especially when someone's just been mean to me. The last thing I want to do is react kindly. But we do this at Women's Business Club as a choice. We're intentional because you don't know why that person was rude or what their backstory is or what's going on in their life. Or maybe they're just rude and they have no excuse. It doesn't matter. Our response, our choice is, if you can do anything, be kind. If you can be anything, be kind. And so sometimes it's hard, hey, Tamsin? You all have worked with challenging people. You don't sit there looking at us, just us. You've all worked with challenging people. But it's the kindness that can really build your business or your career. It's the kindness that can turn that person around. And it's the kindness that could be a game changer for them because they're so used to receiving that backlash or that reaction because they're rude or they're unkind or whatever, or they said something mean. And if we respond with kindness, we could really be bringing about the difference in their life as well. Round of applause for those who are late. I'm joking. Powerful community. This is not just us getting together and all sitting in our individual chairs, but this is about what can happen when we all come together and decide we are going to build a community. We can change nations, we can change legislation, we can bring about so much change and make such a difference. Even for future generations, it's important that we're a powerful community. And I always say, I don't have all the answers. Women's Business Club doesn't have all the answers. Together we have all the answers. Collectively, we do. And so we need to be a powerful community and we need to own that. And then the last one is strategic collaboration. So looking at working together, supporting each other. Many of these conferences, we hear feedback afterwards. I've even heard one from the Bath conference recently. People met at the conference, they realize they've got something that they can collaborate on, and something is born. And it's so exciting, it's so wonderful to see. And so those are our values. So I hope I've done a good job of being really thorough around who we are. But come back with me to a time before Women's Business Club, a time before all of this. I was sitting on a red sofa, looking out at him. It was winter, we were cold, we didn't have heating on, and I was sitting there looking at him and I just started crying. It's like, what have I done? I'm so sorry. How could I let us get in this situation? I failed, I've let us down. And I just looked at him. And then I heard footsteps coming up the path. The postman had been, was bills. Oh, I've got a letter from Jane. I opened the letter, it's a little note. This isn't much, but I hope it helps. It's a £20 note. I looked at my baby, Daniel, 2 years old. Daniel, let's go to the shop. Mommy's got some money, let's buy some milk. I was so ashamed. I had made such a mess of my life. I had run my first business into the ground and left not only the business in a failed state, but my personal finances, my family in a failed state. I couldn't even get milk for my baby, and it was horrible. And I can't imagine how different that story would have been if I had this? What would one of you have said to me if I was running my business into the ground? You might have said, Angela, have you thought about this? Angela, can I introduce you to this person who also works in this field? You may even said, Angela, can I buy you some milk for your son? That's what this is. And I didn't have that. And I went through the most horrible time, struggling alone, trying to build a business, which I was deeply passionate about. But I didn't have powerful community. I didn't have strategic collaboration. I didn't have intentional kindness. It was just me sitting there trying my best to do something. Now I know I'm never going to be in that situation again. Today I reached out. I was struggling to put this on. And you quoted me, didn't you? You said, that's helping each other. Let me do it. And she helped me. And that's just such a small thing, isn't it? But it's such a good example of how women are. We come together. If any of you in this room are struggling or going through something, it doesn't have to be business related. I've spent more time in networking events talking to women about an abusive relationship or a divorce or a pet that died. I mean, we're women, we do life together. We don't just talk business and make a sale and get on with it. It's important that we're real and open and honest when it's appropriate to do so. And so my story didn't end there on the red sofa. I didn't die from poverty, although I felt like it at the time. But I got back up again. And as I said, Women's Business Club started by accident because I was so traumatized, and I may be using the word a bit too loosely, but I was so traumatized by that season that I was like, I'm never going into business again. But now I know what's possible because of you in this room. Because I know that I've hugged so many amazing women and chatted with so many amazing women and got so many amazing women's stories. And I know I'll never be alone again, and I know I'll never have to be in that position again where I can't reach out and ask for help. What help do you need? Is there something you're struggling with right now that keeps you awake at night? Is there an expertise that you're lacking that you didn't know that you could ask somebody else to help with? I love doing contras, swapping skills. I'm very strict about it because it has to be like for like. You don't want one person doing all the work, the other person just milking it, but definitely skill swap. Make sure you write down an invoice value so you're swapping like for like. Keep it fair. But if you don't have the cash budget, swap your skills. Are you in a company and you can see somebody else's leadership potential and she's rising up? Don't feel threatened by her and try to push her down so you keep your position. Lift her up. The best leaders are the ones who lift people up past them. And that's the community we want to build. But it's not all about my story. I'm going to invite Tamsin to come up and just share a little bit about her story and her journey with Women's Business Club.
I had left my MOD job of 20 years, not because I wanted to start up a business. I had no intention of ever leaving the civil service. If you have ever been in an organisation like that, it's not somewhere you leave lightly because you stay for all the reasons, all the package and the security and everything else. I left because I had a complete breakdown. I went through perimenopause and I didn't know I was in it and I was really, really struggling. So I left my job on a break. That break turned into a career change, which I wasn't planning on, wasn't expecting, but I loved it. I started coaching women about body image and all of the things that I talk about in terms of confidence and helping women to dismantle this idea that we need to look a certain way to show up a certain way. But there was something missing in my business, and I was in that struggle bus that Angela's talking about there. I was really, really struggling. I was trying to put myself out there on social media. I was doing all the things, but I was also downloading all the freebies. I was doing all the courses because there was a massive skill set that I was missing that I didn't know I needed until I set up my own business. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. You think, oh, I've got this great idea. I'm going to go and do this. And it's like, you need to know how to build a website, or you need to know how to market yourself. You need to know how to do your accounts, because you can't afford to outsource all that stuff in the beginning. So I was going to some networking things and I was doing a lot of stuff online and things just weren't clicking. And I can't actually even remember how I came across Women's Business Club. But what I found when I joined was all of these things I was getting from all over the place were in one place, and it was all there. And I remember the conversation I had with Angela, and I was like, I couldn't have afforded to pay for all of these things that's actually now in one place in front of me in this online space that I can access as a member. And so that was the first thing. And I started diving into the courses and I started doing a lot of the work, and it really helped me to get the gaps filled where I was just all over the place. But what I really liked about it is it wasn't just one person. So it's Angela's company, but it's actually built by members. So not only could I share my expertise in there, but other people had shared theirs along the way, other members, and it was just incredible. It was like something I had never, ever come across before. But then what happened was they started talking about the events that they run, and they were looking for people to lead. Now, I had led women in the MOD for 20 years, and what I didn't realise was how much I missed it. So I agreed to set up a coffee and co-working near me and a women's business club as a member, and I loved it. I rang her straight away when I came back from that first one, and I was absolutely buzzing. I'd had this co-working space filled with businesswomen who were getting their laptops out, sharing, connecting, talking, and I just wanted to do it again, and I wanted to do it again, so I did. And I kept building this coffee and co-working, and then I was like, how can I get more? And I was like, well, you can be a franchise owner, you can run business lunches, you can even run a conference if you want. And I was like, I don't know. That seems like a big step. I don't know about running a conference. And we started to talk about it. And then I started to think, why not? Just why not? No one else is doing it. And so I took over the Southwest franchise, and it was a huge step for me. But do you know what? I am so pleased I did. I've just delivered my second conference, and it was absolutely amazing. The first one was amazing, but last year was incredible. And being able to do that, but not have to do all of the things in the background, like set up the branding, like actually having people behind you to help you, the support of our team, of Izzy, of Eric and Angela, and everybody else, and Lekia, and everybody behind the scenes is amazing, and it meant I could bring that to life. And I'm still, even after the event that happened on the 8th in Bath that we had this year, my second conference, I'm still pinching myself at how good that was. The energy, like the collaborations that have happened. We've had so many people doing different things out of the back of being in that room together, because in-person networking, there is nothing like it. I know there's a lot available online, but there's something different that happens when we come together and when we actually spend the time. And yes, we're tired, it's a long day, right? Everybody's like flagging and we get knackered, but it's just so nice, and the connections are so much deeper. And I just can't imagine not having that as part of my business. And that's what I love about it, is it's a conference that I can have as part of what I do alongside it. It's just been like the most phenomenal journey. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for filling an event like this. Angela should be proud of herself for today, because filling an event like this is not easy. It's not easy. There's so many different moving parts that people don't see behind the scenes. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And that's what I wanted to talk about, my journey in Women's Business Club, because I don't think we'd often get to talk about that. And people don't realize that it's a franchise. We can do that. You can do that. If you want to have a franchise and own that and run those events and do something and bring that to life, you can do that with Women's Business Club in the background, supporting you and helping you do that. So I wanted to share that with you today, so that if you've got any questions, you can come to me and ask me about that journey and all the different things, because there's nothing, it's not, you don't just walk in and have this business that just does itself. You have to work hard. And I've really thrown myself into this year, and I have loved every minute of it. It's given me so much purpose back in my life, but it's really complemented the coaching that I do, and I've just really enjoyed it. So if you are interested in becoming part of the team and wanting to do that, then come and talk to me, and I can talk to you about that journey. I think that's all I had.
That's amazing.